So I'm happy to welcome our group tonight to Creating, Making, Exploring, and Using Digital Breakout Rooms to Encourage Global Competencies with Cameron Steltman. Cameron's always an engaging, fun, and exciting presenter, so I know that we're going to have a great night in learning. So are you ready, Cameron, to take over?
I am indeed.
Oh, good. So see, we have a great group tonight, and I'm really glad that everyone was able to join us on such a busy evening. So I'm going to just turn it over to you, and we'll put that breakout room again in the link for people to follow along.
Perfect. All right, so welcome everyone. If you wanted to just give me a quick little thumbs up or a hello, just to make sure that I know that you can hear me and that the voice volume's okay, because I can feel free to adjust anything. Felt like Mally and I were maybe on a little bit of a time delay there, so I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Oh, look at those two approving. Very nice. Thank you so much. All right, well, let's get started. I am so excited about this. This is my final OTF Connects for the year. And I kind of think I've saved the best for last, because this has been one of the most engaging things I've done with my students this year. So we are in OTF Connects, and tonight we are capturing global competencies through digital breakout rooms. If you're on Twitter, feel free to follow me at Mr. Steltman. And the short link that's on the bottom that we've shared on the slide is your slides for today and for forever. They're not going to go anywhere, so you're welcome to all the resources that come along. And they are all live linked in this Google slideshow, on which I see there are a few of us. So if you wanted to click on that link, now I can see who's in that slideshow. And what's kind of nice about that is all the links are live. The formatting is proper. I know in this one some of our formatting looks a little bit wonky. But if not, know that you can always go to it later. And bit.ly/breakoutotf is the resource for that. Excuse me. So let's get started. I'm Cameron Steltman. This is a picture of me. I've been using some of the clue building websites to hide myself in different slides tonight, very narcissistically. So I'm Cameron Steltman, and I teach grade 5 at John T. Tuck in Burlington, Ontario. And yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitter. So tonight what we're going to do is we are going to do breakout rooms, and what I found when I had students solve as well as create breakout rooms is that there was an immense amount of collaboration. It was teamwork and collaboration to the max. My students were helping each other. They were asking each other questions. They came to me when they needed me, but it was more of them working with each other. And I really did see that this unity was strength there. There was teamwork and collaboration, and wonderful things were achieved. So this is from Maddie Stefanik, who was a 12-year-old who passed away, who was an inspirational, he was a poet. And yeah, I just thought that was a great quote for this situation. So how is today shaking down? Well, tonight we are going to talk about why we're doing it very, very briefly. I'm going to give you one of the ones that my students actually made, along with some clues so that you can solve it. Then I'm going to show you how you can do it, and then we're going to take the last 25 minutes for you to build your own. And then hopefully we could share what we did create, or we can find a way to share them later. So we're going to do the why, try, how, and build. And that'll be that. So I'm hoping you get a lot out of it. It is meant to be hands-on, so you can try out these things, because I think once you've built one yourself, you'll see that students can do it too. And I just did a showcase of this with my students last week Friday, and the parents came and they saw all the ones the students had made, and it's doable. Then my grade 5s could do it. And if you teach younger than grade 5, grade 4s could probably do it, but grade 3 or younger, you could build 1 or 2 for your own students, and they will be so engaged. It's a great, great lesson. So yeah, let's get going. So what is this craziness? Well, it's really just an escape room. Escape rooms have seemed to be all the rage lately, for birthday parties at my school anyways. And this is just taking that format, or that breakout box that sometimes people have in their libraries or in their classes with all the different locks. It's just taking that and taking away all the stuff and just doing it for free digitally. So it encompasses using all the different global competencies. So let's talk about those. So the global competencies, and the link that's on this page, if you're on the Google Doc, will take you to the ministry document on the global competencies. But it's critical thinking and problem solving, which this is non-stop critical thinking and problem solving, especially for your students. And once they get started, they're asking you questions that you really need to solve. Innovation and creativity, they're wide open. Like, you can take these rooms in any direction that you want. Your students can take them in any direction that they want. I had students build, you'll see, it's just amazing. They direct their own learning with each other. They decide, where do we want to go? What do we want to showcase in this? They collaborate the whole time. They communicate nonstop. And the whole time you're talking about how, when these are going to be shared with the world, how are you showcasing yourself as a citizen? So it was a truly remarkable experience for my students, and I just can't recommend it enough. The other great thing is its curriculum integration. Right now, at the end of the year, we are able to pull in so many different things. You can take in language. They can have math aspects. They can have coding aspects. There's science. It's everything. And you just get to showcase them in a package that once you've built the room, which does take some time, they have something, though, that is very, very impressive. So I hope I've sold it enough, because let's get ready to try one. This is a student-created breakout room based on the novel Mr. Limoncello's Library by Chris Grabenstein. So what happens in this is we did novel studies for a 7-week cycle in our class, and as our final culminating project, each novel study group built their own breakout room. And then we took all the breakout rooms that people did, and we did a parent showcase to show off all the incredible stuff they've done. So I was really impressed with this breakout room, and I asked them for their permission to use it, and they said, yep, Mr. Steltman, we are ready. You can show this to everyone. And what will happen is I'll give you 6 or 7 minutes to try it completely by yourself, and then with the last 6 minutes, I will give you a video that has the solutions to it that I created for you. So we will put up a 12-minute timer, and I'm just going to give you a chance to try to break out of Mr. Limoncello's Library. It's the perfect book for a breakout room because the whole point of the book is breaking out of a library. So the link is bit.ly/OTF breakout, and in about 5 minutes I will give you the hint video that you can choose or choose not to watch, depending what you would like. So let me throw this in here, and let's see what we can do. Please do mention if you have any questions, comments. If it's not working, I need to know everything. So please let me know. But yeah, I want to give you this chance to really just struggle for the first 6 minutes, and then I'll get as promised, I put the link to the video that will solve the puzzles for you. Mally, would there be a way that we could just, actually, is that the one from, yes, perfect. Do we want to play it? Would there be a way to play it on?
Unfortunately, that tool's not working. If I do that, it's going to bump me out of the room for some reason. So the people that would like to view it, if you could click on the link that's in the chat, the YouTube one, and when you're finished, just give us a green check mark that you're back with us. It's just, we figure it's the only way of doing that right now, unfortunately. That feature's not working well. Yeah.
Let us know as well if you get a chance, like if you have broken out. We'd love to know that you've made it out and that you were successful. That would be, yeah, incredible to know. Thank you. All right. As the timer goes, welcome, Kim. And I know that you're probably having some troubles getting in and out. So as the timer goes, Did anybody get a chance to actually break out of the room? Could you just let us know if you got a chance and you actually escaped the room, were able to hit submit on that form and get out? Yeah. Did anybody get out? Oh, did you get a chance to go through some of the clues? They're tricky. They're very, very tricky. And they were made by grade 5s, which is what I thought was so cool. They did it all themselves. That's why I posted that. Yeah, that puzzle takes some time. And then once you get the puzzle, then you know it's 24 hours and you go from there. Which is why that how-to video, I have put the how-to video on how to beat that breakout room, because once you've seen it as a whole and see how to break out of a room, I find that it's so much easier to start picturing how you could then create your own. What about engagement-wise? Did you feel that it was an engaging activity for you as an adult or as a teacher yourself? Oh, awesome, Stephanie. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The first time I introduced it to the students, you could hear a pin drop in the classroom when they're doing it by themselves. But so that's probably the second time. The first time I let them work together, and then it's just mayhem. But you can see those kids who are like, okay, I am going to solve this, and they zoom right into it and they solve it. So if you think about the one that you create, the one that will hook them into this idea, you can make it as engaging or as difficult or as easy as you need it to be. And if some of the clues are a little bit easier, it usually works a little bit better. You make some like one-step clues, some are multi-step clues. One thing I was really proud of, and I really hope you got a chance to see that video, is one of my students there, he loves programming on Scratch, and so he built games inside of Scratch that connected directly to his book and also spit out a clue at the end. So I thought that was just incredible what he managed to get to. And those clues, if you want to see the ones I'm referring to, is if you're on that breakout room there at the very, very, very bottom of the page, there's 3 links right at the very bottom, and he kind of tried to hide them as low as he could, so he made his web page super long. So yeah, it's a really neat way to learn with students. And it challenges a different part of your brain. So thanks for trying that out. Again, the video is there with the website, so you can go through and be like, oh, that's how he did that, or that's how he did that. They as a group, sorry, not just he. But yeah, because I really want you to see how it works as a whole, so that you can then move on, to start building your own as we get towards the end. So how do you bring it to your classroom? Well, I started the same way we just have. I let the students play. They worked in groups together to break out of an easy one that I had created, and then they tried a few harder ones with each other and their families. And when I did the parent showcase where they came in and talked to us about and showed their parents like all the great work they had done, parents came to me and they just said, we love doing these breakout rooms with our kids. It's been such a fun way for us to get together as a family and try to solve clues and talk about math strategies or words or whatever. And it was just awesome. So parent feedback, it was one of their weekly homework tasks, was to break out of a room together with their family, and families were on board. And once you've tried a few, once you've done 2 or 3, you can start to see, oh, I get it. There's a pattern to all of these. And so when my students were beta testing each other's, they were really good at like going through and picking out and finding all the clues, because they'd been doing it too, and their brains were starting to look for it. So it was really cool to see the growth go in that way. So how do we start? Well, it starts out collaboratively, but it all starts, for me, I started all in Google Drive. For my students, I have them one student created a folder, named the name of their group, so Mr. Lemoncello's library folder, and then the very first thing you have to do after creating that folder is change the sharing permissions so that anyone with the link can view. Because if you change the sharing permissions to anyone with the link can view, and then share it with the members of your group, every single thing created inside of that folder has the right permissions for when you share it out publicly. I hope that makes sense. Because Google is proprietary so like when we share in Google, you can share within your school board, you can keep it private to yourself, you can share among a number of people, or you can share it publicly. And what we wanted to do to keep it safe, but also so that our parents and things could access our breakout rooms, is we shared it so that anyone with the link could view. So that meant everything, that the website itself, all the clues, everything we did that was created inside that folder had anyone with the link can view, sharing permission. So then within the folder, they create all of the stuff. So we have a video here that I'm hoping we can share. I know it's probably not going to work here, but I know it's about 1.5 minutes. So why don't we post it, and then you guys take your 1.5 minutes to watch it, and then just give me a thumbs up when you're back so that I know that we can carry on.
Which video is it called?
It is the one on how do we start. So it is.
Yeah, because I had to go. Okay, I had to name some of them. Hold on a sec.
Oh, creating a shared folder. Here, I've got it, Melly.
I don't think you put that. You didn't put that one in the notes. Sorry.
Oh, my bad. There we go. No, it's all good. This is the link to it. It's about 1 minute and 27 seconds. Beautiful. So I had the video going in the background. Thanks, Kristen, for letting me know that you made it through. I had the video going in the background as well, so I saw that I had managed to get through it all. So I hope that helps. I just find if we do that beforehand, then we don't have to worry about sharing permissions afterwards, which makes life so much easier for us as teachers. And even for you yourself when you're building one, it really, really does help to keep it inside of one folder. So let's get going. Let's talk about how we can do it. Well, I started out with a planner. So if you click on the planner resource, it will automatically make a copy for you. It's called Breakout Room Templates and Ideas, and if you just click Make a Copy, it will automatically create one for you, and now you have it. And I'll just kind of walk through what it says on it. So this will automatically make it so you don't have to make a copy. You want to think about a planner as a way for students to organize the clues and who's going to be responsible. I'm not in love with this one. I think it's got some ideas and it was kind of useful for my students, but it just gives you some suggestions on some different things you can do. So I gave this to my kids and I said, what are the 10 best things from the book that you wanted to include? So what are things so that I could get them thinking about the novel itself? And then we talked about different lock types. So there's direction locks, word locks, numbers, colors, phrases, date locks, page locks, time locks, and then anything else they could think of. I kind of gave them a step-by-step how-to, which was helpful. And then I started to give them some resources. And we're going to go through that as well. But at the very bottom, the thing that I did kind of like the best was the clue breakdown. They had to decide how many clues were they going to have, which people themselves would be responsible for those clues, and then what kind of clue would you want there. So is it going to be the direction lock? This way, because they were all sharing this breakout room template, they were all in the same document, they could say, oh, you're doing a word lock, I'm doing a word lock, and she's doing a word lock. Maybe we should have a variety in our locks. and it allowed them to say, I'm responsible for this, I will take this on. So really that task management side of it. So the bottom piece I quite like, and I've kind of made a twist on it towards the end of this presentation. I've got a different planner that if you like better, you could use that as well. So that's the planner. And then the next thing you need to do is make a Google site. And it sounds very intense, but it turns out it's not that hard. So to make a Google site, we have a video that will do that. But your site's going to house your entire project. Once it's created, it needs to be shared with all the members and the teachers. So the members will have it if they created it in that folder. But what I didn't mention is that you want them to share that folder with you as the teacher as well, because then you have editing access to everything. So if something's not working, you can get in there and help with a quick fix. So new Google Sites makes it easy to make it pretty, and my students could create it in minutes. So there's the link to your video. If you could, again, just give me a thumbs up when you're done. I'm going to run it in the background here so I can hear what I've spoken about, and just so I've got a sense of the time itself. So yeah, give me a thumbs up when you're done. I think it's about 2 or 3 minutes long. All right, thanks, Stephanie, for checking in and letting me know you'd made it through. I guess I was just a few seconds behind you there. So yeah, I got through that as well. So sites, and I know I didn't get in-depth with sites, but your sites for these do not need to be in-depth. It can be one home page, and it's just a place to house all the other things that you create. But if you don't have a site, you don't have anywhere to share it. So you need to have the site. So, but again, it's also for your students a really nice introduction to building websites. It's a nice first try if they haven't done that before. And then the next thing that you need to know how to do, like the students and you as well, will need to know how to get that site, but you'll also need to know how to build a form, because it's the forms themselves that when we validate the data are what create the lock, so that you can't hit submit on your form until you've answered the question correctly, which is just so cool. And once I showed my students this, their minds were blown. They're like, oh, we're going to make tests for each other, and there was all kinds of things they wanted to do. But yeah, so using that data validation, it's best, though, if students know the answers to their clues and then decide how many steps they want to have to get to the actual clue. If you're building for younger students, grade 3 and below, 1-step clues, maybe 2-step clues. My kids got really into it, and some were doing like 4-step clues. So they were creating a clue in one place that short linked you. So when you got that right, it would take you to another place. And when you got that right, another place, and then another place. And then that final place would be where you get your actual clue to put into your site. And that, to me, seemed like a lot. I told them, like, parents don't, like, they're not going to want to do this for all day. So you want to think about how long it's going to take, but when you're building your first one, just 1 or 2 steps in those clues. So let's watch the building forms video so we can see how to actually create the locks. So let's pop that up, and then, yeah, we can get going from there. Thanks, Valley. Beautiful. So I managed to get through the video, so I'm hoping that you did as well. So yeah, that data validation is just so key to creating the locks. And once we see how that works, really, now the rest of it is just filler. Now's the really fun part. Those are the things we have to do. So for Hannah, like I'm so glad you just came. On this presentation, you can kind of go through all of this. But the site and the building forms, the 2 videos, these 2 live links that are on this Google slideshow that I just shared with you, those 2 videos will be really helpful in just getting the basics. And then once you have that, now we get into the meat and the potatoes. So we get to hide clues everywhere. You can see in this, I said hide clues in the text. So I used the Photofunya website, which allowed me to put my own pictures in. And here's a picture of myself and my daughter, and she had a little injury on her head. But I use that to showcase, hey, there's pictures, but you could put the text in. So this could be a short link to something. And then if people are going around your breakout room, like, oh, there's a picture. Oh, wait, there's a short link. I'll put that in. And that takes them to another clue. And once they have that clue, maybe they can solve the problem there and put it into your thing. So right now, I do want to show you how to short link. So I guess I lied a little bit. We're still kind of in the meat and potatoes, the things we have to know before we can get going, and knowing how to short link is key. So let's watch this how do we short link video very quickly, and then once we have that, we can go from there and actually see all the fun things that we can do to make clues. All right, I will watch it as well so I know where we are. I'll turn off my microphone so you don't hear my voice in duplicate. Awesome. So I just got through the bit.ly short linking video, and I feel like it may have cut me off a little bit, because if you just go to bit/ly and go to bit.ly and paste any link in there, it will automatically short link it to you with letters and numbers. So if you wanted the custom link, you need the extension. But you don't have to get the extension if you don't want. If you don't need to change it to custom letters, I like it because I do things like this, so I can have /breakout breakout OTF, because I think that sounds a lot cooler. But for your students, they definitely don't need to get the extension. All they need to go is copy their link, go to bit/ly, paste their link in, and get a short link. That short link is enough. It's only 6 or 7 letters. Then you could hide that in your breakout room somewhere or on your clue wherever you want, and then you could really use that. But for me as a teacher, I love having the extension because I can make short links with one click of a button, and I can customize them so my students can easily find it. So even if it's not just for breakout rooms, bit.ly and short linking is key. So let's get to the fun. How do we build a 3-part clue? Now you're going to see a little bit more of this whiskers thing that I had referred to in the last one. So this is a 10-minute video, but this really goes through step by step how you can use a few of the clue building resources to build a fully thought out clue. So it's very, very key to the whole operation. And yeah, so let me know what you think. Let me know when you finished watching it. We are going to learn how to build a 3-part clue, and then we are on to, after one more how-to video, we're on to building our own, which is the thing I really, really want to get us to. So oh my goodness. I feel like maybe I was talking there for a long time and I did not have the microphone on. Did I say anything about the 3-part clue, or was that all missed?
You did, Cameron, and I put the link in there, the 3-part clue.
Beautiful. Sometimes I click and don't. It's okay. Good. As long as my words were coming out, because I was speaking. I just didn't know if they were getting out to anyone. All right, so as I finished hearing my own voice, which you think you would get more and more used to, having seen all these videos that I've created, it's not. It doesn't get any easier. And when I heard myself sing that song, I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. So apologies for that. But I hope you saw how you could lay out your own clues. They don't have to be 3-part. Like I said, they can be simple. And Jen, I really appreciate that feedback. I know with Office 365, I'm sure there's some way to do a workaround, but like I said, you can have a free Google account and you can create one of these on your own, so your students can get into the idea itself. which is what I'm hoping we'll be able to do right now. So as we move on, I wanted to give you 5 different examples and show you exactly how to break out of it. So the bottom 4, Circus Miranda's, Tiger Rising, One and Only Ivan, and Crenshaw, are 4 other student-created ones from my class this year. So those are all student-created. They are somewhat curated in that I've seen them, and I know that you can break out of them. Some of them are far more complex than others. The Canada 150 one, the teacher one, is the one I created that kicked it all off for my I kicked it all off for my students, so it's not that difficult. And the joy of the Canada 150 one is that the How to Break Out of a Room walks you through the process. So what I'm thinking right now is you either go back to the first slide in our slideshow that we've been following along on the Google one, and do the one that student created, Lemoncell's Library one with the video and see how it works, or you do the Canada 150 one and How to Break Out of a Room video goes along with that, so you can see how that works. And then we'll also have the links here for the other ones, so you can see what the students created, or you can feel free to try one of theirs too. I told them I'd be putting them out there, and they were really excited that real teachers were going to check them out. So it's up to you which one you choose. So I'll help Mallory with this. I will start from the bottom. If you're going to work through the Canada 150 one, this is the video that you would use to help you beat Canada 150. So you can try it on your own. It is teacher created, but I'm pretty wily myself, so feel free to do that and use those clues to help you. Otherwise, feel free to jump through Circus Miranda's. They only used a form, and they just put it on a website, and all their clues are actually hidden in the form itself, which is a neat thing to see. They did that all on their own. And then there's also Crenshaw. You will see that for a lot of these, the groups are at different levels. Just like every classroom, we have groups that have achieved different can all learn differently. And for some of these kids, they really struggled with some of these ideas. So it's really nice to see that they were all able to create a final product that they were proud of. So I'm going to leave enough time for you to How to Break Out of a Room with that video if you want to do that one. Or you can finish the one we started right at the start. I'm going to leave that up to you, and we'll do this for about the time it takes for that video to go. So that seems to be about 5 minutes. What I'd like to do right now is walk you through. Sorry. In about 5 minutes, we'll come back, and we're going to get to start building our own.
5 minutes on the timer for you, Cameron.
You're way ahead of me, Melly. Thanks so much. All right, so we've got 10 seconds left on the timer there. I got my seal of approval. I was very happy to see that little seal clap, and so I hope you managed to make it through the video and see how to break out of Canada 150. And know too that if you wanted to do this with your students this week and you don't complete building your own today, feel free to use that one. They can do it. You now know the answer, so you can do it. And maybe once you've seen it and tried it, I mean, you're welcome to have anything I create. I'm always happy to give away, so feel free to take that one. I'd prefer maybe don't give out the student ones yet. I haven't asked them, but if you're interested in one of the student ones, you really like it, let me know, and I'll ask my students, and I'm sure they'd be happy to share. They're incredibly nice. So now we're into making our own. So how do we start to make our own clues? Well, you got to have different clue maker ideas. So I'll walk through the 12 ideas. Then I'll show you a video, and then you can start building your website. I know I keep promising it like you're going to get this tons of time, but know that I want to give you the details you need so that you can actually make a successful one. So one thing you want to do is hidden pictures using Google Draw. So you create the Google drawing within that folder we talked about, and you can. So for my kids, a lot of them did scenes from their books. They had their scenes, and then you hide links inside of them, like you saw there in that past video where I hit a link in the YouTube link was in their computer screen. And I'll show you how to do that. I have a video for that in 1 second. Oh, Natalie is. Oh, so the hidden pictures is just draw.google.com or go directly forward new Google Drawing. But there's a video that will go with that. The other cool thing though is creating novelty tickets. So if your story or your breakout room involves tickets, you could the top link if you're on our bit.ly/breakoutotf. If you're in that slideshow, the airline will take you automatically to airline to create a fake airline ticket. Ransom note takes you automatically to create your own fake ransom note. Concert tickets, fake receipts, treasure maps. So depending on what kind of breakout room or theme you're using, those may be helpful. Signs and messages generates real signs, characters from movies and TV, fake diplomas, newspapers, and more. So there's tons of options there. I tried to pick only 12 websites and then just the ones that pack the most punch. A lot of my kids are obsessed with binary. They think it's the coolest thing ever. So they built some clues in binary, and it's really like, this is just a binary translator. If you go to the binary one, there's a Morse code translator and Google Translate. So you can use other languages inside of your clues. And then maybe once you translate it in Google Translate, it spits out your link, and then you use that link. Famous collaboration was really, really neat. I hadn't seen this in a while. So it's like a pretend Google Doc that you're collaborating with, and as you type, other people type, and they change what you've written. Or add to your writing, which is really, really cool. But I was just thinking you could definitely find a way to pop in a clue inside of there, or to maybe even use one of the people they use. It's like William Shakespeare or Emily Dickinson, I think. It's really neat. Scratch is an incredible, incredible way to get those higher order thinking skills going. You combine coding with clues and have students build a game that involves math or offers a word if they hit a high score. There's so many ways that you can use Scratch. Scratch is almost limitless. It really could have a 3-day session all by itself, but my kids ate it up for this clue maker. As I flip to the next slide, here's 6 more great ways to make clues. Photofunia is the one where you've been seeing all of the photos that have had me in it. Those have all been through Photofunia. The piano clue, you saw how to do that. That's that Woojin piano maker, which allows you to create a hidden message. You saw that in a video before. Jigsaw puzzle, we saw that in that first one in Mr. Lemonchell's library, using jigsaw puzzle to put in an image, and then it breaks it all apart. And once you solve it, you get the clue. Fake text messages was really fun to have students get into their own characters' minds. Like, what would they talk about? What would they say back and forth? And how do we put a clue into it? A lot of them used it for the direction lock. They're like, oh, do you remember, how do we get to such and such location? They're like, oh, you go left, right, up, down, and then that was that. Encrypted emojis is something I'd recommend you click on and go visit. It's really neat. It's hard to explain, but you create a secret code, and then it scrambles it with emojis, and then if people can pick the right emoji, it gives you the word. So I would recommend trying it out. It's a bit complex. And then the last one is just creating your own headline. So you can create an image that mimics breaking news on a broadcast with a customized tagline. So there's tons of places to put clues in there. So there's 12 different ways that you could build clues. I'm going to pop up the link right now to our how to hide a clue in Google Draw, because I think if you see that's a nice place for all the students to get started. This is very, very helpful. So if you could check out this video, I believe it is 2 minutes long, and then I'm gonna get you building your own. Awesome. So I'm hoping that you saw that video, how to hide it. Stephanie, what's the wow for? What are you liking? I'd love to hear. I know it's a lot. I know there's a lot to take in, and I know we have about 15 minutes left today. So you will not probably get a 5-clue breakout room built today. That's probably not likely, but maybe you could create a site, a form with 1 question, and 1 clue that links to it. That would be great. I know, Google Draw is crazy that way. It works with Google Slides too, and then you can, so if you're doing Choose Your Own Adventures, you can hide anything inside of there. It's so great. So yeah, thank you so much for that feedback. So now, let us go and make. So before we build, you want to create a folder, share among your group, and change the sharing settings. Follow through the planning template to create your clues and ideas, build clues and form, and then put them all together on the shared website. Those are the steps. Some key things that you like to remember: how to force a copy. Make sure that you know how to do that. So if it's something that people need to work on, they're going to need to own copy. Make sure that students publish their site. If you do not publish the site, no one will be able to see it, and that is very disappointing. Make sure you're using hints in the form, you're using your sharing permissions on the form, short linking everything, and planning everything out. This link, so if you're on slide 17 of our slideshow, that one that we continually reference, it will automatically it will automatically force a copy for you of that planner, so if you like that one better. So let's use the next 8 minutes to get a chance to try and start building yours. I was hoping you'd have more time to do the hands-on part, but I feel like the things we got should hopefully, and you can let me know with a thumbs up, hopefully the things that I've shared will help you to try and make your own. So yeah, let's do 7-ish minutes, and yeah, know that I'd love to see what you create. So after you build one, please feel free to email me. My email is on the last slide, or tweet me, and I'd love to see what you come up with. So yeah, so let's use the next 5 or 6 minutes to just kind of start our own folder, maybe put a site in there, try 1 or 2 of the things, click on 1 or 2 of these links for breaking your own headlines or jigsaw puzzles or whatever, and yeah, I'll be back with you in about 5 minutes. And as your timer runs out, I realize I didn't get to flip my slide, so you can see my sweet Miss Frizzle quote, but as you were going forth and building, I hope you got a chance to do 1 or 2 things, to try out a few things. I hope your mind is spinning with potential, with these ideas that you have for ways that you can use them yourself or get your students using them. I know that there's a lot of potential here, but I also know that it is a beautiful day, and I really, really appreciate you coming out and taking your time to spend it with me, to learn about these things, to push yourself forward. It's just awesome. I learned so much just being here and sharing with you guys. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Here's my last photo fun here. I've snuck my girls eating ice cream into a vinyl album, which made me very, very happy. But yeah, so know that you can find me at Mr. Steltman and steltmanc@hcsb.ca at any time. I'm always available. If you need something, I'm happy to help. I hope you got a chance to build something, and if you create one, please, please, please do share it with me. Yeah, it's always such a pleasure, and I know it was a small group, so thank you.
So I want to thank you, Cameron, for, again, another hour and a half that went really, really fast. You always have